Welcome to Login Aid. In this video, I'm going to guide you on how to log into your Moodle account. You can either log in using your PC or your mobile application. For this video, I am using my PC. For that, firstly, make sure you open one preferred web browser. Here I am opening Google Chrome. Now at the search bar, you can simply search moodle.org and press enter. You will be now lead to this official page, and at the top right, you can see this login option. You can click on it. Now this kind of box will pop up where you need to enter your credential in order to log in. You can also log in using your Google account or your Microsoft account. If this is your first time, then you need to click on create new account and they will be guiding you further to create it. If you have forgotten your password, then you can click on this option and they will be guiding you further to recover it. Now after entering your credentials, simply click on login. And now you can see that you are successfully logged into your Moodle account. This account allows students and teachers to access course materials, submit assignments, participate in discussion, view grades, and track progress. It is also a learning platform primarily used by educational institutions for creating and managing online courses. And this is how easily you can log into your Moodle account. I hope you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe our channel Login Aid. Thank you.
How can I create a course on my Moodle site? When you log into your site as an administrator, you can add a new course by clicking Site Administration, Courses, Add a new course. As administrator or other person allowed to create a course, such as someone you give the manager role to, you can also add a new course from the three dots in the My Courses page. Note that once you've added a course and added a teacher to it, they can edit these settings by default. You need a full name and a short name. You can select the category as administrator, decide whether to show the course yet or not. You might want to hide it while it's being worked on. And you can add a start and end date. Student access is controlled by enrolment dates, however, not course dates. The course summary and images are shown on a course participant's My Courses page and, depending on your settings, also on the front page list of courses. If we click Course Format, this is where we can choose how we'd like the resources to be displayed. Topics gives us numbered topic sections. Here we can also select to have weekly format, where the sections are named as weeks. Social format is basically one big message board for discussions, and single activity format would allow you to add just one particular item, such as a SCORM package or a quiz. Appearance will allow you to decide how many news items you want to show in the announcements forum. If you set this to 0, you can then delete the announcements forum if you don't think it will be useful to you in the course. Options can be explored by clicking on them and expanding them. So for instance, if we click on Expand Role Renaming, if you don't want to call your students students but you want a different name, learners for instance, then you can change the name here and it will appear just in your course. You can also tag your course to help new students search for it. To summarize, a new course may be added from Site Administration, Courses, Add a new course, or from the My Courses page of those with permission to create courses. How can I add course content to my Moodle site? A course in Moodle is basically a space on your Moodle site where one or more teachers can add learning content for their students. What the course might look like as a teacher will depend partly on the theme and the settings which you as the admin define. This course uses the Boost theme. With the Boost theme, teachers can expect to see a collapsible course index on the left and an expandable block drawer on the right. From the course navigation, settings, course teachers can edit the settings such as the course name and description. The More link takes you to further features such as the quiz question bank, the H5P content bank, and more. Course teachers can toggle the button top right to enable edit mode, and then they can make changes and additions to the course. The main content area here is where the actual teaching and learning resources will be added. In this course, they are numbered topics which can be renamed. But if we look at a different course on a different Moodle site, you can see that these are divided into weekly sections, and there are some blocks on the right. Content is in cards which can be dragged up and down, or in a long course across to a specified location in the course index. Content may be added by clicking the plus sign between activities or clicking Add an activity or resource to get to the activity chooser. Activities require participation from learners, such as submitting an assignment, whereas resources are static, such as watching a video. The tabs here are controlled by you, the administrator, from Site Administration, Courses, Activity Chooser Settings. Blocks give extra information and learning resources and can be added by expanding the block drawer and clicking to add a new block. For more information, see our Educator pathway on Moodle Academy. To summarise, courses hold learning content. Content may be moved by drag and drop. Resources are static. Activities require input from learners. Blocks may also be added to the side. How can I add course content to my Moodle site? Assignment. Submitted work. As a teacher, you can have your learners submit work through your Moodle course. This saves on paper, and it's better than email because when they submit, you'll see a list of your class only on your Moodle course, not cluttered up with emails from colleagues and organisations. What they submit can be uploaded files or text written directly on Moodle. If we look at this example of an assignment, because you can type your instructions into Moodle's text editor, it doesn't only have to be text. You can add links, images or videos relevant to your assignment. And an assignment may be for one individual or it may be for a group. And as a teacher, you can choose whether or not to see the identities of your learners as you are grading it. To add an assignment, we enable Edit Mode top right and either click Add an activity or resource at the bottom of a section or anywhere on the course page between activities. Assignment is an activity because learners interact with it. Click once to go straight to the setup page or click the I for more information and then the Add button bottom right. Because assignment is so powerful, it has many different options. We're only going to look at a few in this video. The name is important because this is what the learners will see on the course page, and then you can add a short description which you can optionally display on the course page by ticking the box. In Activity Instructions, you add what you want them to do for the assignment. You can, if you like, give your instructions in audio or video form by clicking the audio or video icons, and your learners can also submit like that too. If you want to include images or links, you click the appropriate icons. You can also upload additional support documents for them if needed. You can choose when you want them to send in their work with due dates or a cut-off date, and you can also set yourself a reminder when to grade by. In this Moodle site, the administrator has enabled timed assignments. This means the teacher can set a time limit on the assignment, but note that learners can still submit after the time limit, but this is mentioned in their submission. Now we decide the submission type. In other words, if you want them to upload one or several files, you make sure that File Submission is ticked, and you can choose the number of files you want and can specify a type of file you want them to upload. Alternatively, select online text and they can type directly into Moodle, with a word limit if desired. This is enough to set up the assignment, but let's explore some other settings. Click the question mark help icon against any if you need more information. In feedback types, setting comment in line will allow you to type directly on the learner's work, just as you would when grading on paper. In submission settings, you can decide if you want them to accept an agreement that their work is their own. In group submission settings, you can get them to work and submit as a group. And in notifications, we can choose whether or not to be messaged when students submit, and also whether or not by default students will be messaged when we've graded their work. If we click Grade, we can see that it's possible to choose a number out of which the assignment can be graded, and it's also possible to create our own scales, which we look at briefly in another video about the gradebook. Anonymous submissions can initially hide the identity of your learners when you're grading them. And marking workflow and allocation are useful when sharing the course with other teachers to divide up, moderate and monitor the progress of grading. In activity completion, if we want to track that students have accessed the assignment, do we want them to manually click to confirm they've seen it, or do we want it automatically marked complete when they've simply viewed it or submitted, or received a grade or a passing grade? To alert course participants that an assignment has been added or updated, click Send Content Change Notification. And now we can save and return to course, and our assignment is ready for our students to submit. Lesson Adaptive Learning. Moodle's lesson activity enables teachers to create content which can adapt to the learner's responses. This is useful for decision-making exercises, simulations, independent revision, and subject practice where learners can choose their own path through the content. In this first aid lesson, teaching CPR, the course participant can first choose whether they wish to read text or watch a video. Then when they've taken in the information, they are presented with some quick questions to check understanding. Let's explore how this lesson is made. Our teacher Sam adds a lesson by enabling Edit Mode top right, clicking Add an activity or resource or anywhere on the page between activities and choosing Lesson. Click once to go straight to the setup screen, or click the eye icon for more information and then the Add button bottom right. The name is important because it's what learners see to access it, and you can add an optional description which can be displayed on the course page by ticking the box. Remember, this will also display the description within the lesson as well. Other settings can be expanded by clicking the links. In Appearance, Show More displays all possible options. Administrators can decide what displays by default and what is accessed from the Show More link. The help icons give more information about each setting. For example, a file useful during the lesson can be uploaded in the linked media section. The figure in the maximum number of answers defines the response options our teacher has for each lesson page and can easily be changed later. A percentage progress bar and a menu, i.e. list of pages, can also be displayed. In Availability, lessons can have a time limit and password, but if learners do the lesson offline, of course the time limit will not apply. In Flow Control, we can let learners review, but not repeat the lesson, let them try the questions again and decide how often and what happens when they answer correctly. Other settings are similar to other activities, but in Activity Completion, to track that students have accessed the lesson activity, do we want them to manually click to confirm they've seen it? Or do we want it automatically marked complete when they have, for instance, simply viewed it, obtained a grade, or spent a required length of time? No need to select View as well as the other criteria. To alert course participants that a lesson activity has been added or updated, click Send Content Change Notification. After clicking Save and Display, our teacher Sam has to decide what to add first. Note, it is helpful to plan your lesson structure in advance so you know where you're heading. Existing questions can be imported in certain formats. A cluster is a group of question pages which appear randomly to students. A cluster is bordered by a start cluster and end cluster page. A content page contains information, while a question page offers a type of question, for example, multiple choice. Let's first look at the content page. Lessons can contain text, images, videos and links. Once our teacher has added the content, it's important to make the connections, the jumps, to subsequent pages. This is why it's really important to have planned your lesson structure first. This is the first page, and here are the options to jump to. We'll leave it at this page for now as we haven't made any other pages, but when there are other pages, these will appear as names in the list of options. So one jump is video and goes to the next page. The other jump is text and also goes to the next page. For now, saving the page displays its title, type, content, jumps and actions, deleting, duplicating, adding a new page, etc. We are seeing the collapsed view. The expanded view shows the same information but in more detail. Most times you'll be happy with the collapsed view. We need to add two pages, one with a video and one with text. So we click Add a new page, Add content page and add our video. Then we click again, Add a new page, Add content and add our text. Let's look at the jumps. Our lesson is not going to work until we fix the path through the pages. So we return to the first page and go to the jumps. Now the video page is visible as an option, so we can link to it. And we can link to the text page as the second option. Finally, a question page will test the learner's understanding. So we click to add a question page and decide the type of question, perhaps multiple choice. Answers can include links, media and images for further information. And we can decide to make the learners remain on the same page until they get it right by selecting this page for incorrect responses. When the learner gets the question correct, we can, if desired, direct them to the end of the lesson, or we can make another question and then edit it to ensure the jumps are correct. What the teacher sees. Let's look behind the scenes at the finished lesson. It's important to check all the jumps are correct with named pages. What the student sees. As our student navigates through the lesson, remember we added a time required completion condition to ensure she read or watched the materials thoroughly. If she reaches the end of the lesson before the required time, she's not allowed to complete it yet. To summarise, lesson allows you to create a personalised experience for your learners. Forum. Start discussions. Being able to discuss our learning with others helps us to progress, and Moodle offers several different types of discussion forums for you as a teacher to enable your learners to do exactly that. To add a forum, enable Edit Mode top right, and we click between existing activities or add an activity or resource. We can add several forums of several different types. We don't only have to choose one. Clicking Add an activity or resource brings up the activity chooser. Forum is an activity because students interact with it on the Moodle course. Click once to go straight to the setup screen, or click the eye icon for more details and then click Add bottom right. There are a lot of settings for the forum, but we only really need to give it a name, a description, and then to save it. The name will be what the learners see on the course, and the description, if you wish, may be displayed by ticking the Display Description on Course Page box. We then choose the type of forum we want. The default is a standard forum, which allows anyone to add a new discussion topic. However, if you click the drop-down, there are other types as well. For instance, a single simple discussion allows for the teacher to start a topic, and all the learners can do is respond to that particular topic. If you want to know what the other forum types are, then click the question mark icon, the Help, and you can find out more. There are other settings worth exploring. For example, in availability, you can set due dates and cut-off dates for forum posts. You can decide the number and size of attachments that you wish to allow your learners to attach, and you can set a word count which learners will see when they add a forum post. Another important element is subscription. Do you want your learners to be automatically subscribed to the forum, to automatically receive notifications of replies, or do you want them to be able to choose? Discussion locking allows you to close a forum if no one has replied after a certain time. If you enable whole forum grading, you can grade forum discussions and these grades get sent to the gradebook. We'll leave this for now. In activity completion, if we want to track that students have accessed the forum, do we want them manually to click to confirm they've seen it, or do we want it automatically marked complete when they've simply viewed it, or based on certain criteria such as a number of discussions or replies? No need to click View as well if you're specifying other criteria. To alert course participants that a forum activity has been added or updated, click Send Content Change Notification. As a teacher, if we enter the forum to add a new discussion topic, we can either quickly post to the forum or click Advanced for other options such as adding an attachment or pinning a post to the top. In this Moodle site, the admin has also allowed teachers to set a display period. Let's pin this post so we can see how it displays for students. And there is a pin icon. In a different forum, in a different course, we can see some other settings. Discussions can be easily starred, and for students this will move the discussion up under any pinned posts. Forum discussions may be ordered in various ways, for instance by last post. Everyone can easily subscribe to individual discussions or to the whole forum. From the three dots on the right, a teacher can unpin a discussion or pin a new one, or manually lock a discussion, and if you change your mind as the teacher, just post in the forum again to unlock it. Finally, it's useful to know that teachers can send private replies to students, which only that student can read, but not reply to. Gradebook. Each course in Moodle has its own gradebook which you can access from Course Navigation, Grades. By default, students see this link as well, and this is where they can access their course grades. Here is an example gradebook in a different course. The first screen is the grader report, where you can see the students you have and graded activities. And note that if you have a lot of students and graded activities, then as you scroll across, you can still see the students' names, and as you scroll down and back up, you can still see the titles of the graded activities. From the drop-down, Grade History will allow you to see the different grades and when they were modified and by whom. The single view, or the pencil icon by the student's name, takes you to the single view, which allows you to focus on one particular student or one particular grade item. The Grade Summary Report lists all gradable activities in the course with their average grades, and you can filter by activity. The User Report takes you to the individual grades of one student, and this is what a student sees when they click the Grades link in course navigation. In Setup, you can add new grade items or edit existing ones and decide on course grade settings or your preferences. In Scales, you can add a new scale. Custom scales are what the teacher has added to the course, and standard scales are what an administrator has added for everyone. So you, the teacher, can add a new course scale or custom scale by clicking Add a new scale, giving it a name and adding the items with the lowest first. Then it's available to use in your course, for example in assignments. You can also import grades that you have offline as easily as pasting from a spreadsheet, and you can export them as different formats if you want to print them off, for instance. The gradebook is very powerful in Moodle, and we've only been able to see a few of its features, but hopefully this has given you an idea of what it can do for you as a teacher in your course. H5P – Interactive Content. H5P is open source software allowing you to create interactive content in Moodle. From course navigation, More, Content Bank, we can upload existing H5P content made, for example, on h5p.com or h5p.org, and we can create new content from the Add drop-down. Here, our teacher Sam is going to create a multiple choice activity. H5P is a separate software from Moodle, so we won't explore how to create activities here, but instead we'll look at how you can include your H5P content in your Moodle course. Sam has created 2 activities. She wants to add the multiple choice one to her course page for learners to attempt and receive an automatic grade. If you want to do the same, then enable edit mode, click between existing activities or add an activity or resource, and from the activity chooser, click H5P. H5P is an activity because learners interact with it. Click once to go straight to the setup screen, or click the eye icon for more information and then click the Add button bottom right. On the setup screen we add a name, and if you want a description, and then click Add and find your H5P from the content bank if that's where you created it, as did our teacher Sam. Think carefully about which H5P options to enable, set the grade if applicable, and then attempt options if this is available for your H5P content. In activity completion, if we want to track that students have accessed the H5P activity, do we want them to manually click to confirm they've seen it? Or do we want it automatically marked complete when they've simply viewed it or got a grade or passing grade? No need to select View if you're using other criteria. To alert course participants that an H5P activity has been added or updated, click Send Content Change Notification. We click Save and return to course, and learners can now access the H5P and their results will appear in the gradebook. H5P can also be embedded anywhere there is the editor, although note that scores are not easily recorded this way. Sam has added a page with a video of counting in French, and she wants to embed a dictation activity to accompany the video. So she clicks Settings, and then she clicks the H5P icon, browses for the content from the content bank, adds it, again selecting the H5P options, and here is the video with the dictation. If you have problems with H5P displaying, check the Display H5P filter is enabled.